Awesome, awesome. Okay. So I was talking about the fact that today we're going to be talking about why you're not connecting in sales calls and sales conversations with your potential client. And so this month, for those that don't know, this month we're really dialing into the sales process, us as introverts, and how we can better that situation for us. Because at the end of the day, our businesses are not hobbies. Our businesses are businesses to impact and to make money. Both of those things, two things can be the same, can be true at the same time. So we want to make impact and we want to make money. We need to make impact and we need to make money. We desire to make impact. We desire to make money. So at the end of the day, we've got to increase our skill set in certain things so that we're able to be successful in the way that we want to be. So, today we're talking about why you're not connecting in those sales calls, and then we're going to give some simple solutions, some tips and strategies to help you to really become as successful as you want to be. We want to make sure you are connecting in those sales conversations. So, just a reminder, the reason why we're talking about sales and we're taking the entire month of August to talk about sales is because I did a poll here in the community. 26% of the people that responded said that sales was the highest priority, the most challenging thing that they're facing when it comes to building their business. So I wanted to make sure everyone really got in on this so that we're able to understand the different parameters. We're going to go through about four different subsets within the sales demographic, the sales category. So make sure you are tuning in each Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, we're talking about why you're not connecting in your sales call. And we're going to have strategies for building that trust with your potential clients, because at this point we've got to make sure that trust level is there, because that's one of the things that is hindering us as we're moving through the sales conversations. Okay, that's one of the things that's hindering us as we move through the sales conversations. So and I know we have some new folks who have joined the community. So, as usual, I want to make sure I am introducing myself. I am 𝐒𝐞𝐥𝐻. I'm a life and business strategist, and I specialize in supporting introverted women who really want to thrive and build that online presence in a way that does not feel inauthentic, does not feel disingenuous, and doesn't feel icky for them, so that they're able to really thrive in their business. So, you don't have to be, if you want to talk to some other folks and say, hey, listen, I know this lady with some pink hair. You don't necessarily have to be an introvert to work with me, but my strategies are tailored for introverts to be able to utilize the strengths that we hold. Okay. And also just a reminder that I do hold this training here in this community every Tuesday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. So today we're going to dive into this topic, and I want us to really grasp this, really understand, so that we have that success that we really want to have inside of ourselves. Okay, so the thing today is going to be really building out trust with our potential clients. Okay, trust is going to be the main focus for our sales calls. Okay, if you have ever felt that your sales calls are not leading to the connections and to the conversions that you like, it's probably because there's a lack of trust that's been established within that conversation. And it's not necessarily all that the potential client doesn't trust you. They may not trust themselves. They may not trust the process. They may not trust the service. There's so many different things that can go up under this trust that could potentially not be there. So I don't want you to walk away thinking, oh my God, they don't trust me. That could be the case, but it most likely there's a number of reasons up under that trust umbrella. Okay, the reason why they have a lack of trust, why there's no trust there, why we've got to make sure we're building that trust. Okay, so I want you to consider that. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about really why this is crucial in sales. We're going to talk about how to build it, and then a few key techniques that I really believe will help you build out that system to connect and build that trust, really solidify that trust with your potential clients so that you're able to convert them more, so that you're able to connect more. Okay. So I want to talk first about the importance of it. Okay. The importance of this, the importance of the trust. Trust is the foundation of any successful relationship. When you think about it, any relationship that you have, trust is the bedrock of it. And sales is no different. It's still a relationship. Okay. So when a potential client trusts you, they're more likely to engage with you. All right. They're more likely to listen to your recommendations and then ultimately make that purchase. Now, initially, we're talking about us, them trusting us. Okay. So without that specific trust, it doesn't matter how good your sales pitch is. It can be the best of the best, but if the trust is not there, that sales pitch is literally going to fall flat. Okay, it's going to fall flat. It's crucial in sales to have that trust. Number one, it's going to reduce that resistance that you're feeling when it comes to that potential client. They're less likely to be defensive. They're less likely to be skeptical of your offering, whatever you're offering. They're less likely to be skeptical. I cannot. It's in my brain. I can skeptical, but they're not going to be as skeptical of you and your offering. So what happens is this begins to create an open environment where they feel safe, they feel comfort, they feel at ease as they are walking with you to understand better, number one, what they're dealing with, that this is a solution for them, and that you're the person to help walk them through that solution. Did you get that? That I want you to understand that they have to trust levels. They have to trust levels. Within this trust, you're going to be able to encourage them to give you honest feedback. Honest communication is going to happen. This opens up that dialogue. Okay. Because think about it. Have you ever been in a sales call where you're like, something's off here? They're not opening up all the way. But when there's trust, they feel safe. They don't mind sharing their needs. They don't mind sharing their concerns. Any hesitations that maybe you had felt initially, they begin to really decrease. They give you information that you really need as the service provider. They give you information to help them approach the solutions that they need. And they don't mind giving you that information because they know that you're the person to help walk them through it. Okay. This can lead to long-term relationships where I spoke with someone the other day where these people, they become your clients and then become your advocate. They actually bring other people into your business relationship. Hey, Karina knows her stuff. She's helped me in this area. I think you should go see her. So they become your advocate. But I want you to understand, when you build out this trust, it's not just about closing this one sale. Yes, that's going to help you in that moment to get that revenue in, but it's not about that one sale. It's about building that relationship so that there's repeat business, there's referrals, there's lasting success. There's multiple things that's transpiring within this relationship. So when you think about it, these clients who trust you, they're more likely to be loyal to you. They're more likely to recommend you out to people. So these are just a couple of reasons why we have got to make sure we're building up that trust. There's there's only, when I think back to the coaches, my prior coaches that I've had, I'm thinking about coaches, I'm thinking about strategists that I hired, I'm thinking about all the people that I hired. There's no one that I would hire again. There's no one that I would hire again. Not at all. My current coach, unfortunately for her, I'm not even going to say unfortunately, but she stuck with me for life. For life. I'm a lifelong learner, so she is mine and I am hers. But any of the other ones, because that trust was not really solidified, there was enough trust for me to hire them, but there was not enough trust for a lasting relationship nor referrals. No repeat business. There was not enough trust there. So think about that when you're having these sales conversations. Okay? A couple of techniques that you can use to build out your trust with your ideal client. Okay? Now, these are not things that you're going to do necessarily during your sales call, because if you wait until you're actually in the sales call to try to build out that trust, then unfortunately you've already missed the boat. Okay? You've already missed the boat. But a couple of things when you're building out that trust, keep in mind that you want to start that building that trust way before you even get on the call. You want to be authentic first and foremost, okay? You want to be authentic, you want to be genuine in your interactions within that relationship. Again, this is before you even get on that sales call. Clients can sense when you're being authentic. And I keep saying this. It makes them trust you more, or likely it makes them to trust you more. And so that authenticity, that means you're being yourself, you're speaking from your heart. You're not trying to be somebody that you're not. You're not trying to mimic somebody, well known in your own industry. You're just being yourself. You're being authentic to you. Okay? So the first thing, how you build out that trust, is you're authentic in your conversations. You're authentic in your interactions. You're authentic when it comes to connecting with them. Okay? A practical tip before your next sales call, I want you to take a moment to really ground yourself. Remind yourself that you don't need to impress anybody. Remind yourself that you don't need to be anybody other than yourself. Remind yourself that you are not a puppet in the imposter syndrome's playground. You are yourself, and you're worthy. You are capable, and you know exactly how to provide these solutions for your ideal client, for this potential client. Focus on your ideal client and how you can serve them. When you take the focus off of you and what they're troubled with, when you focus on what they're troubled with and how you can serve them, you begin to exude that genuine, authentic personality. That is what they're looking for. They're looking for that compassion and that empathy inside of that conversation. This is a practical tip that can help you really calm yourself. Okay? And it sounds elementary. It sounds like, well, Karina, how is that really? It's going to help you. Because if you're one that goes into sales conversations and you're nervous and you're thinking about, oh my goodness, how can I do this? How can I do that? This is how. This is how. And I talked about that for those that grabbed my class last week, the 3 C's that affect selling for introverts. We talked about that. That's one of those things. Walking into this sales call and thinking, I've got to get this sale. It's a big no-no, coming from the wrong perspective. The next thing is you want to be consistent. Trust is built over time through consistent behavior. This means you're being reliable in your communication. This means you're showing up when you say you're going to show up. You're delivering on your promises. That consistency creates that predictability. Within that predictability, your client says, I can trust her. Your client then knows that they can feel secure in their decision to work with you. So think about, have you been consistent, Or have you been inconsistent with your dealings and interactions with your clients, with your potential clients? To you, it may seem like, oh, well, I had to do this or I had to do that, but to the other person, it may sound like an excuse. And it may sound like, yeah, I don't really want to deal with that because what if I need them at this point in time, blah, blah, blah. But being consistent really cuts all of that out. Another practical tip that you can take is you can create a routine. Routinely follow up and stick to that. Schedule your messages out if you have to. If you tell a client that you're going to check on them within the next week, make sure you do that. Consistency in small actions leads to big results in building that trust. Okay? These are ways to build trust with your potential client before you even get on that sales call. Being transparent is another one. Okay? Being transparent. That's really one that we can really dial into. Be transparent, be open, be honest about your offerings. Clients appreciate it when you're upfront about it. Hey, listen, I have learned now to tell my potential clients, listen, you're going to have to do some market research, and this is what that's going to entail, because clients don't want to do it. So I'm letting them know up front, you're going to have to do it, because if you don't, it's going to be the demise of our relationship, most likely, because you're going to resent me. You're not going to want to do it, but you need to do it. And I have yet to meet anyone that can build a business without it. I haven't met everyone in the world, or every business owner in the world, but I've yet to meet anyone that has been able to build a business without it. But again, transparency is going to help you manage those expectations, and it's going to really prevent any misunderstandings that can erode that trust that you're trying to build out. So one thing that you can do during your next call, make it a point to highlight both the strengths and the limitations within your offering. Every offering has a limitation. I don't care, what it is. Every offering has some type of limitation. It may not be, big or, great or anything like that, but it could be, even if it's a small limitation, it may be a deal breaker for someone. So you want to make sure you're being honest with them about that. This is going to show that client that you're honest and you're not just trying to make a sale, but you genuinely want to help them through their solutions. So we're talking about building that trust so that you're able to really navigate those sales conversations into true connections and conversions, instead of just approaching them as a let me get this sale. And then you want to build that rapport that goes, that's hand in hand. We know that. Okay. This is about really creating that deep connection and making them feel comfortable and understood. How can you build that rapport? I say this all the time, active listening. Not listening to respond, but listening to understand. So what you can do within that is, even before your next call, as you're getting on, think about how you're going to be listening more than you speak. Think about how after your client is done speaking, you want to pause for a second. You want to reflect on what they said, and then think about what you want to say. And then you can say something like, what I think I hear you saying, and repeat what they said so that they know you get them. This is going to show that you're listening. This is going to show that you've given thought to what they're saying and what you're responding with. You want to include empathy in that, okay? Not that you want them to know that you understand. You empathize with them, okay? It's vital. Do you really get where I'm coming from? Do you understand? When I am talking to someone and they really understand, I feel held, I feel supported, I feel seen, and I'm ready to go. You're putting yourself in your client's shoes when you bring that empathy into that communication. Ask yourself, how are you going to feel in their situation? And if you've been your client, you can let them know, listen, I understand how this is challenging. I was once there. This is how I felt. I get it. Okay. And so these are ways that you can bring humility and humanity into a sales conversation, so it's not so robotic, so that it's more natural. Have a notepad if you need to. This is another key step that you can do. You can incorporate. Instead of trying to remember specific details, jot down what they said, specific things that stand out to you so that you can personalize that conversation so that they understand. But I will say, though, that if you're present in that conversation, you probably going to remember those things anyway. But just to be on the safe side, keep a notepad. So even if that sales call turns into multiple sales call, which can happen, okay, that can happen. You might have 2 or 3 calls before you end up making that sale. But if you have a notepad where you've jotted down some things about that conversation that stand out for you, then you're able to bring that into that current conversation. And they understand, they know, they see that, okay, she gets me. So keep notes on your clients, details, interests, concerns, things that they've spoken to you about. Refer to these things so that those conversations can be even deeper. So I really wanted to, again, go through today of really why you're not connecting in sales calls, and then give you some tangible strategies to build that trust with your potential clients before and during those sales calls, and even after. You may get on a sales call that ends in a not right now, and that's perfectly okay. If they are a not right now, that doesn't mean that that's a no completely. You don't know what their situation is. Their situation could be that they need to go and gather the funds, the resources. They need to make sure they have the right amount of time. Maybe they have a project that they're currently working on, and they know in a few weeks, a few months, that that project ends, and they'll have additional time open where they can really focus on what it is you are presenting to them. Maybe they know that they have a bill that they have to pay off, and it's going to take X amount of time. And once that's done, then they can come back. Maybe they know that they have to work on themselves for a moment, that they know that they procrastinate and they are not as committed as they'd like to be, but they know that they need your services. So they're going to take maybe a few weeks to go and work on that. We don't know what the no, not right now really truly is, that deep down, no, not right now. They will tell us. And those are the surface no, not right nows. But the deep, deep reasons, we let them work that through. So a couple of key points that I've already talked about. You want to make sure you are facilitating that trust, because it is the foundation of a successful call. Remember, it's going to reduce that resistance that you're feeling. It's going to encourage that honest communication, and it really should lead to a long-term relationship. Okay. All right. And then keep in mind that to build trust, you're going to have to focus on being authentic. You're going to have to focus on being consistent. Bring that transparency into your interactions. You're going to build that rapport. That's equally important. And the way that you do that is through active listening, that empathy. You want to add that personal touch, the personal touch of who you are into those conversations. Okay. So that is all that I have for today. So ladies, have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. You know, my DMs are always open. Bye, y'all.